This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning. Welcome to the September 7th meeting. We'll be doing hybrid today, online and in person. We'll call the meeting to order at 9 a.m. Item 2, adoption of the agenda. Can I get over?
Councilor Matchuk.
Seconder?
Councilor Clayton.
Thank you. We will move the delegates to 9 o'clock. Has the RCP joined us online yet, Dominic?
Okay. Yes, I have Staff Sergeant Landerville here. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We'll move the delegates to 9 and then 9:15, and from there, all in favor. Thank you. Staff Sergeant Landerville, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Just going over the stats there for first quarter for the Army of Ritchot. A couple of things that have come up here. Our alarms calls are up. Basically, of note is a one address that we've had a lot of false alarms at. And every time we do get a false alarm call there, it brings our stats up. We've had like 10 files at one address. So you'll probably notice that. And so there's no concern there. So just to let you know about that. Two other files have increased our crimes against persons. Basically, one file that we had was responsible for 8 counts of assaults in St. Agathe. And then we had another file with 3 counts of assaults again. So sometimes those numbers might seem a little bit skewed or out of the ordinary, but not to worry. That was right under St. Agathe, under crime against persons for April 1st to June 30th. It hit 10 there, and Ile-des-Chênes was the same thing where it hit 21. But we have 2 files responsible for that. So apart from that, the numbers actually look okay. There's nothing that jumps out at me that's out of the ordinary or worrisome. And we continue on now. We have a new member that just joined us from Depot, a new, I guess not a cadet anymore, but his first week is this week. We have 2 more cadets joining us here shortly. We'll have one here in the middle of September and one at the beginning of October. So our HR numbers are going to be, as soon as they're trained up and ready to go, then our HR numbers are going to be actually looking pretty good.
Great news.
Mm-hmm. Good to hear, sure.
With reference to the false alarm, is that something you guys follow up with? First of all, is that a commercial or residential property that's driving?
Yeah, that's residential. So yeah, we do follow up with that. After a while, we may not attend all of them. We'll discuss it with the residence owner, and there'll be follow up. But they continue to make or to create investigational file numbers for us, so that drives our numbers up. So it's just to let you guys know that it's out of our control. Like I can't tell them don't make a file on that. Like we know it's a false alarm, we'll just tell them they make them anyway. So.
Okay, fair enough. Council, any other questions?
No, I think the report looks. Hi, Staff Sergeant Landerville. It's Councilor Clayton here. It's nice to hear your voice. I know we've talked on the phone lots in the past, for sure. My only question was maybe just some of the numbers within St. Agathe, but it's already been explained, so we're good there.
This is Councilor Matchuk here from St. Adolphe. I just want to know if there's going to be any future patrols here, because that seems to be the big issues in St. Adolphe right now. Everybody wants more patrol. I know you guys were having some staff issues and there's other priorities, but every attempt you have here would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. That is, visibility is always number one on our on our agenda, and as our numbers increase now, I think that is something that we can tackle here. It was very skinny here this summer, and but like I said, it's looking a lot better now. So I think there's things that we can address for sure.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Hi there, it's Councilor Boulanger from Grants Point area. I think it's been pretty quiet in Grants Point. I've been around all summer and I haven't seen much, but I haven't seen much patrol either, but I could just be missing it. It looks like the numbers are well down in Grants Point. I know there was some issues last year with the Discovery Drive, with the drag racing and the dirt bike racing and stuff like that. So I think at one point in the beginning of the season, you had mentioned, or somebody mentioned that you would be checking that out a bit more. Have you seen any of that kind of action, or it's been pretty quiet?
Yeah, no, not too much to report there. I have a member actually that's living there now, and a newer member to our detachment, so that helps a lot because we have a little bit of downtime during the wee hours there where we are on call. So so you'll probably see more of a presence there, at least of a police vehicle anyway. So that'll probably help things quite a bit.
Awesome, thank you, sir. Anything else to add? Staff Sergeant?
No, yeah, that's all I have here for you guys.
Okay, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.
You as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Okay, so we had 3 of the people introduce themselves, and I totally dropped the ball on introducing everybody else. Shane Telsey, Deputy Mayor, covering for his worship this morning. We've also got, to my right, CAO, Mr. Duval, and up in front, Assistant CEO, Dominic. Dee, I presume, we'll move you up to the 907 slot if that's okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Come on up. You got 10 minutes to let us know what you got.
Okay.
And we'll take away any info you have for us there.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for setting a few minutes aside to hear my proposition to reduce the speed limit in Turon Creek from 50 to 35 kilometers. A few issues have come up since the first first residents had come in, and we're having a bit of a problem with construction vehicles and the safety of families and residents who have come to call Turon Creek home. We do not have a dedicated entrance or exit for construction vehicles, and based on the last council meeting, it's probably not going to be for a few years. Children do not have a park to play in, as the park is yet to be developed, so that kind of looks like it's going to be a couple of years. So that brings us to the safety issues. The construction vehicles are going way too fast for the development. I'm not saying they're going over the speed limit, it's just for the development it's too fast. Research has long confirmed the benefits of reducing speed limits in residential areas. So for us, of course, it's the safety of children and the residents. But it also reduces noise, pollution, and helps with cutting fuel consumption. So this past weekend wasn't the best weekend because it was a long weekend, but a few of us went door to door to get a petition signed. And I was happy to say for the people that were home, 64 residents signed our petition. There was only 2 that didn't want to sign because of situations they're working with, not a municipality, but infrastructure, and one was a law enforcement officer. The congestion of the construction vehicles makes it very hard to see little ones who are back and forth with their scooters and bikes and just running out to get their balls. And that is our concern. I don't think any councillor here that lived in the area would disagree with the congestion of construction vehicles and reducing the speed limit. So that brings me to the end. I respectfully ask that the RM council vote to reduce the speed limit. I understand from 50 to 35. I understand that Manitoba Infrastructure has yielded back the power to do so to the RMs, to do it on their own, and I guess they just kind of rubber stamp it. but I know that the RMs of Manitoba do have that power to change it. And we would like to see it as quick as possible. I know that's a big ask, but we're really concerned with the safety.
Thank you. You've got the petition with you. Out of the 64, how many are different households?
I don't know yet. I didn't break that down.
Okay.
I didn't break that down.
Okay. Thinking half or maybe
No,
like?
I'm thinking 3/4 are different households.
Okay.
Because we didn't catch a lot of
Yeah.
moms and dads home at the same time.
Yeah.
But, you know, every single person, and you might have noticed that I did put it to Facebook, but they were just like, yep, saw it on Facebook, all fine. And there was not, other than those 2 people, not one of them that didn't agree with that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you can just hand it over to Dominic, and we'll have a discussion at our next planning meeting on this, and you'll be notified.
And like, when does that planning meeting happen?
That is.
It'll be the 14th, next week.
Next week?
Next week.
Okay. And then would we have an answer coming?
So they discuss it at the 14th,
Mm-hmm.
then a resolution of council, if they wish to move forward ahead with it, would be on the 21st
Of September?
of September.
Okay.
But any bylaw change, the speed reduction would be a bylaw.
Yeah.
So it would have to be first reading for that evening, and then second and third hearing at the next possible meeting if they choose to do so, or mid-October.
So
And
first,
I'm not
second,
gonna say the word
third, not
election,
unlike,
I'm not gonna say the word election, because that can wear everything around as well, so.
yeah. I mean, we just want to see it as soon as possible, because it's just, like, for us, really, it's an accident waiting to happen. We see the kids, and again, it's unfortunate that the kids also have that chimney Swift, so they have a long way to ride their bikes, and it's not just the short ones around Vulcan Cove or Barton's kind of long.
Yeah.
But you know, they love going on their scooters, and they're biking all over the place and playing. I'm just super concerned with the way the construction vehicles are, and just vehicles, but you have a couple of construction vehicles almost side by side, and the kids are, so you don't see them. I mean, that just doesn't happen. So, yeah, my biggest concern is that. And the other thing is, it's something that we can possibly revisit in 3 to 4 years when we have that separate exit and entrance. Not unlike the north side, they have a separate one. We don't have that.
Yeah.
And we're going into phase 2, so we're gonna get tons more vehicles through there and tons more construction vehicles. So I think it's just it's a great thing if we get it reduced. Like, the residents will be, I know, very happy to have that.
Awesome.
So, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the work.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
And just as an aside for the presenter and council, I did receive an email from the development team in Winnipeg regarding this matter. What they are proposing to do as well is to do some kind of community signage to try to help out the situation for the speed reductions, or to try to moderate based on public hearings that they attended last meeting. So.
Yeah, and I hope they do come out, because we still have the issues with the weeds and stuff, and I know that some were cut down, but on the occupied lots, we're still having the same issues. When I went door to door, I heard all about it, and they were like, you know, you said something was happening, and I said, well, we did have a little bit happening, but it's still really on the front burner.
Well, I took a tour of some people that are living in their homes and they're not looking after the yard, so.
But the bylaw does state that the RM, it's the authority of the RM to go in there and charge them and take down the weeds.
But they cleaned up really good. They did a good effort to clean up, so.
Oh, have you been out there?
I was there this morning.
Okay, I still have weeds all over Chimney Swift. And they're 6 feet, the fire hydrants are very hard to see. So, if you come out good.
Well, I went there for a tour this morning, and it's improvement, that's for sure, but there's more.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that nothing did happen, something happened, but we still have the issue. And the issue is still on the minds of the residents. So, thanks so much.
Thank you very much, have a good day, ladies.
All right, so we'll move on to item number 3, adoption of minutes. Can I get a mover?
Councilor Manchuk.
Second, we'll say Councilor Boulanger. Pretty close tie there.
Last meeting was held on August 17th, at which council approved 2 variations to partial road closures as well via bylaw form. So that was given first reading, I believe. So those will be held at public hearing in the near future. Nothing else to report.
Thank you. Rest of council, any questions on that?
No questions here.
Yes, sir.
Call for a vote. Item 4.1, accounts to be approved, paid to be approved. The mover, Councilor Boulanger.
Councilor Clayton?
Thank you.
2 batches of accounts paid to be approved, batch 16302 for the amount of $30,958, and a smaller batch of 16303 in the amount of $237. The first batch is basically a receiver general check for payroll.
Council, any questions?
Not here.
Not here.
Call for the question. Thank you. 4.2, accounts not paid to be approved. Can I get a mover?
Councilor Manchuk.
Thank you. Councilor Boulanger. Oh, 39 pages of
Batch 16331 for a total of 597,000 and change. That batch has been summarized by our assistant CEO for your review. Also batch 330 EFTs for 4,000 and a tax refund in batch 353 in the amount of 1487. I'm not going to go through the 38-page report or whatever it was, but you do have the summary in front of you.
It looks like we're paying off some of our construction bills.
Yeah.
Nice. Any questions from council?
No, it was a good, nice summary. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just a quick question, do we have some insurance claims outstanding for some of these, expenditures? I'm just looking at the one for Cheyenne Park, which I think is the,
We had 2 for the Santa Gat Park. We had the theft, and we also had the roof claim. I think those have both been dealt with.
okay. No more questions.
And I'm sorry, I missed the mover in second round.
Manchuk.
Oh, no.
Manchuk and Boulanger.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. CEO. Call for the question. Thank you. Item 4.2.1, council indemnities. Get a mover. Councilor Boulanger, second, Councilor Clayton.
Indemnities for council for the month of August, very quiet, summer holidays, hours ranging from 4 to 10 with the exception of the mayor, who was at 18, whopping 18. But he's not here to defend himself, so.
Any questions on that?
Not here, sir.
Not here.
No,
Call for
okay.
the question. All in favor? Thank you. 4.3, payroll to be approved. Can get a mover on that.
Councilor Clayton?
Councilor Manchuk.
Second, Councilor Manchuk.
2 payrolls to be approved, payroll 16 and payroll 17. On payroll 16, quite a few hours of public works overtime, likely cause for DFA recoverable expenses. Also, admin has some banked hours, our recreational programmers, and was in the heat of the moment with rec programs, et cetera, setting all that up, and also building inspector, visit time and construction. Pretty much similar for payroll 17, for admin banked hours, but a lot less public works overtime hours than the previous payroll. So, nothing else to report.
Any questions from council on that?
Not here.
Not here, sir.
Call for the question, all in favor? Thank you. CFO financial report item 4.4, get a mover. Councilor Belanger, seconder. Councilor Clayton, thank you.
Thought it was a good time to bring council up to speed with our current financial situation. So basically, I think it's no surprise that, for the most part, we're doing quite well, except for a couple departments, Public Works with fuel, and as we know, fuel has taken the beating. Just happened, I was watching the news last night, and the city of Winnipeg is in the same situation with their budget. So hopefully we'll try to cut back on other areas to offset the fuel costs. The other problem was the DFA, all the flood claims that we're putting together. We're putting out the expenses, but we haven't had a chance to put the claim together and reclaim that work. So we should be getting, hopefully if we do it right, 99.9% of that claim back.
That's good to hear.
Other than that, everything else is laid out in the CFO's presentation.
And I had a great read of this. My only change or concern I would like is the first one where we're going through, it shows how much has been expensed already. And then the rest of them show what's remaining. If we could have it so it's consistent and even, I would personally prefer seeing everything expensed, like what we've already spent. And just leave that consistent route so that we're not kind of back and forth.
I'll do.
But yeah, other than that, everything is,
very good.
I got a couple of questions for our CAO, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the report looks really good. Hats off to our new CFO. Regarding the revenue or the payment from Mid-Canada GFL, was that higher than what we had originally anticipated? Yeah, it seems like a fair bit higher.
We had budgeted at the start of the year, 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Because based on past history, it was in that 1 to 1.2, 1.5. So that's what we put in the budget. And fortunately, we got a 2.2 payout early spring.
Okay.
So pending year's operation, moving forward, we may also receive another payout. But that's basically just an in and out. So you'll see it on the revenue, but you'll see it on an expense, won't match to zero. So, because you're transferring it to reserves.
With the in out, so and then for sure. And I just had one more question regarding our, I think it's a statement of revenue regarding the, I guess some of the funding from, or conditional grants from the federal government and the provincial government. I think we had budgeted around a little bit over 2 million, and we're at, 500 or 600,000. It's on page, excuse me, I'm looking at page 7. Are we still anticipating some of that grant money to be coming in this year?
Yeah,
Or is it going to fall into 2023?
some of the funding is depending on the project itself upon completion, and if we haven't submitted the reports yet back to the province or to the feds to get the rebate back. So it's a timing issue.
Yeah, I know, there's usually a big paper trail that follows with it.
Well, I think we have the Grand Point Clubhouse project still in limbo to collect funds.
Yeah.
We have the St. Agathe boat launch and dog project, so there's a few big projects,
Those are the ISIP grants.
ISIP grants and stuff like that. So yeah, those are outstanding, but at the end of the day, we have, council knows the financial position of both projects.
Yeah. Very good, that's all I had, thanks.
anything else on that?
Not here, sir.
No, okay.
Thank you. Call for the question, all in favor? Awesome. Item 5.1, subdivision application 4165-22-8181, Valley Fiber, St. Adolphe RCO. Got a mover? Thank you, Councillor. And second by Councillor Mamchuk.
All right, in order to continue with the Valley Fiber expansion moving forward, northwards in the municipality, we require a location for Valley Fiber set up in St. Adolphe. Proposed location is by the Public Works Yard, just north of town here. There's a parcel A and a parcel B, on your, map. Parcel A is the purchase land area. Not sure of the dimensions offhand. But parcel B is not to be sold. It's more of a registered easement that they need to have access. It's a current driveway going in and out of the public works yard. We will need to, if council approves of the subdivision, we will need to do this before we enter into the public hearing stage for the variation process. Any questions?
None here. Anyone else?
None here.
No.
No concerns with having that easement on our existing driveway into public works?
No, we kind of have a similar situation in Sandy Gap, with the Park Hall, access there.
Yeah.
And, they don't get in there too often, maybe at the start, when they're putting everything in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's maybe once a week.
The maintenance call or whatever?
Yeah, check the maintenance, whatever, so.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask a similar thing, like it's not a occupied building.
No.
Okay.
No.
How do we talk?
And that easement is access only to their, maintenance building or whatever they have housed in there. The fence for the public works is still closed and off.
And they're actually not getting title to that property anyways, right?
Just parcel A.
Just parcel A, yeah, okay.
No, good.
Okay, any other questions?
Not here, sir.
Okay, call for the question, all in favor?
Question. Question here.
Monsieur, Madame Lepage? Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Regarding this subdivision, one of our concerns is the maintenance of the mound that it's on. So what would be the, because right now it's not being maintained at all and there's drainage issues. So because of the expansion of that mound, there's a bit of a slough and cattails, and we've had to sort of nag Mike Tumen next door to get his staff to sort of mow the weeds and that sort of stuff. So what is the plan for that maintenance there?
That would be on the northern side more than anything else, north and west side of the mountain?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think because of Public Works hauling in dirt and that it will take a little bit of time before the earth settles in order to be able to get in there and do proper maintenance. But once the land has settled, it would be no different than the regular maintenance that they've been doing beforehand, which I think is good. I haven't received any complaints beforehand, so I will make that assumption that it was proper to begin with. So until that mount has a chance to settle, it will be a little bit of a unsightly, painful to look at. But once that thing does settle, I would expect no maintenance issues. In regards to drainage, what I could do is I'll talk to the public works manager and get the surveyors out there and make sure that it doesn't interfere with your property.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know it's been a very wet year as well. That hasn't helped matters, but it's so wet there that there's cattails where there wasn't any ever before. So.
And usually cattails is a sign of poor drainage, so we'll get that addressed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you need done before the next one?
We needed to do the subdivision, now we could do the public hearing.
Item 6.1.1, public hearing, variation V18-20 2022 Valley Fiber 1539 PR 200. I'll get a mover.
Counselor Matchuk?
Sorry, I just opened the meeting.
We'll
open the hearing at 9:30.
Thank you, sir. They did vote.
Did we vote? We
Yeah.
kinda voted?
They voted and then we took the question
Yeah.
from the public. Yeah,
Okay.
no worries. Okay, so the proposal is to vary the required front yard setback from 30 feet to 17 feet 10 inches for a 12 by 14 public utility building. According to the Planning Act, notices were sent out to 100 meters of the said property. It was also sent to McDonald Regional Planning District, Public Works Manager, Building Inspector, Councilor, CO, Fire Chief, and the applicant, as well as posted on the municipal board, municipal website, the St. Adolphe case and ESO, and that was all done on August 22nd.
Okay, is there anyone to speak in favor, in person or online, on this variation? Is there anyone to speak in person or online against this variation?
Yeah, here.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Good. Thank you for including us in this process. So our concern is with the impact to our property value because of the proximity of that RCO, which is the word they use for the building, and because with the variance, that moves it more into our sight line. So by following the rules, setback rules, then it's further back. Makes it look like it's more planned out in terms of the location with the other buildings. So, and I do have an email from, looking at the plan, looks like there's a tower that's also planned on there. But email from April 14th, which was from Melissa Cruikshank, if I'm saying her name right, and also included on there are Ryan Stevens and Tim Peters. I'm not sure what their role is with Valley Fiber, but they were on there. And that email stated that there will not be a tower in this location. So if there's no tower, then we'd like to see the setback rules followed and have the building further back into that 70 by 70 subdivision.
The 10 feet on the variation, Mr. CAO.
Feet to 17 feet, that's on the west side.
Yeah, because it is, the front yard is being considered St. Mary's Road, so that's what we're deeming the front yard proposal. So it should be 30 feet, but according to the drawings that we have here, I need to pull this up or work glasses, is 17 feet 10 inches to the vault. No, sorry, to the RCO. The vault is another separate building, so.
Yeah, and that was one of the issues with this as well, is the lack of clarity in this this notice. It's so the wording is the setback, and yourself just now just thinking that it's from the 200 highway, St. Mary's Highway, but the setback is actually from the front line of the subdivision of the 70 by 70 piece. And so that wasn't clear at all in there. So following some questions back to the planning officer for the RM, we received additional drawings. So this was on the 31st of August, which gave us less time than the 14 days to review, consult, things like that. But, so we decided to still keep the meeting where it is. But yeah, so there was lack of clarity in the actual variance application, and through getting more information, when we knowing that there's not going to be a tower there, then we'd like the setback rules to be followed.
So what Martin and I did we mentioned this to Tanya Waddell in the planning department. We requested that somebody join us from the RM, but they were busy that day. we went and staked it out ourselves so we could see exactly where it would fall, according to the posts that were there where we thought that new subdivision was. So we could tell, like, just by following the rules and having the setback where it should be on that new subdivided parcel, it really sets it back in a nicer location where it's more sheltered by our sight lines, because we sort of, I don't know if you could see by the map, we have our whole outdoor area right on that side with our pool and all that dining area, a new patio that we put in. And given it would be, if it's just tucked back and followed the setback rules, then it would be significantly better.
Okay, thank you for that. Is there anyone else online or in person that wishes to speak against that?
And we've received nothing in writing, either for or against the proposal.
Okay. Did council have any questions for the LePages while the public hearing's still open?
Yeah, I just have one quick question. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. LePage, Councilor Clayton here. I just have a question. So with proposed location of the building, the RCO right now, you're just saying it would benefit you if it was moved, in some direction? I'm just looking at the map here, and what way are you sort of proposing that it should be moved or adjusted?
Yeah, if the building were to move east, so because the variance request is from the 70 feet that's on the west side, right? They want to be 17, almost 18 feet from the front of that line.
Instead of 30.
Instead of 30. So moving that building eastwards. Further
yeah,
right.
Right now it's in line with your backyard or your pool. You're considering pushing it more sort of towards the middle of the, I guess our building there, the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, the closer it can be to line up with the front of the building, the better. But depending how far back you want to go. But yeah, if you move it to 30 feet from the line, from the frontage, then it's closer to the front of the building.
Sure. I don't think the RCO will be much more than the size of a tool shed. I'm just going by the one that we have in St. Agatha.
It's 14 by 12.
Yeah, so it's fairly small. Yeah.
Yeah, but if a tower won't be going up anyhow, why not just tuck it in closer to the other building? Like, we did go stake it out, and I don't see the reason why it can't be just further tucked back. Like, maybe it would warrant you to just do a quick site visit with us just to see. Because what we did, we staked it out and then we were able to visualize it from our property. And if it was just tucked back, like just literally following the setback rules to 30 feet, we would be fine with that.
Yeah, it's still our understanding that there's going to be a tower on this site.
Well, we can forward you an email from Valley Fiber, and it was after these drawings were done, and it says they have no intention of putting a tower at that location.
Okay, that differs from our conversation with them, but thank you. We will close the hearing at 9:39. Yes. After I reopen my window here, we will, I'll get a mover on that. Councilor Manchuk, seconder. Thank you, Councilor Boulanger. Sorry, I shut down all my browsers.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so the resolution that council will be debating will read as follows. Therefore, be resolved that variation application V18 2022 to vary the minimum proposed front yard setback of a public utility building from 30 feet to 17 feet 10 inches as defined in the RM of Reach-Out zoning bylaw 9-2019 as amended is approved, subject to the following conditions: that the applicant must obtain a building permit for the public utility building from the RM office, and that subdivision file number 4165-22-81A1 must be approved. So based on the vote this morning, condition number 2 has already been met, but we may deliberate the proposed variation.
Thank you, Mr. Sayo. Open it up for debate.
I wish the applicant were here to ask what the purpose of this variation is. I tend to agree, but I don't know the reason why if they're asking for only a 17-foot 10 setback, and why can't it be at 30 feet, just to follow the rules and avoid this whole variation process. It's a wide open piece of land there, or maybe there isn't. Is there infrastructure that they're trying to avoid? Something underground? Is there something, a piece of the puzzle that we're missing here? Because I don't see any reason why it can't just be where it's supposed to be as well.
That is a very good question, and that is kind of the thought I had as well when I was looking at this, going, there might be something there, but it's unconfirmed at this point in time.
Does some of it have to do with the road allowance to access the RTO, that we need to sort of follow the existing road as opposed to, you know, taking the existing road or entrance and then starting to go behind the public works building?
Well, we're only talking moving the building like 13 feet over,
Yeah.
right? So they just extend the driveway.
No, I'm just trying to think of the rationale behind it.
They just move it from that side of the road allowance to the other side of the road allowance, right? Like, it's kind of.
Yeah, 'cause it's on the east side of the road allowance right now, it seems like.
So perhaps prior to approving, would you not look at the rationale?
Sorry, Madame Lepage, it's up for council's discussion right now. I think it could be just if we go 30 feet back, we're gonna have problems with any other setbacks. Because we're not that.
We're too close to the public works building, maybe?
We're only 70 feet across. But I think it's mostly for access, like it's just straight off the driveway, right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean, I wish they were here, that we could, what is the purpose of their request?
Well, initially we had a tower going there as well, so this would have been an original plan right from the start to be there.
Oh, I just didn't realize that.
Will they be taking power from our building, or I'm just wondering on that? I don't know.
I think we need more information.
Hello, can you guys hear me? This is Tim Peters with Valley Fiber. Sorry, I was having some mic troubles. I think I have it figured out now.
It would be best to reopen the public hearing, so that way everything, and then Mr. and Mrs. LePage could also.
Thank you. We'll reopen the hearing at 9:43. Tim, go ahead.
So yeah, sorry, I could hear, I just couldn't say anything. In terms of shifting the building to the east, we would be open to that. I'd have to look at the dimensions to see if that 30 feet in the front would, and we get the setbacks required in the back. But if that all works out, it looks like it will. We absolutely could shift that building to the east. Yep. So from our point of view, yeah, there's no tower required here at this site. We do have correspondence regarding that, so we are open to doing that for sure.
Okay, so my question then is, we don't need a variance, you just need to modify your plans.
That's right. That's what it sounds like, yes.
Okay, thanks for the clarification. It's unfortunate that your microphone had a problem earlier.
Yeah, yes. I was just struggling trying to figure out. I had it locked for some reason, so no, we're figured it out now.
Okay.
It's not a Valley Fiber issue, it's a Microsoft issue, right?
That's right. Yeah. It's a user error, you could call it.
Okay. So then Valley Fiber has no objections with meeting setback requirements?
None, no.
Okay. Thank you for that, for clarification.
I have a question now. So we've just done the subdivision application for parcel A. And are we now talking about moving the RCO onto a different?
No, it would still be.
Still fits within the subdivision.
Okay, so we're just gonna be putting it on the most easterly point that we can?
Correct.
Okay.
Because the most eastern lane now becomes the backyard, and the backyard has a different setback requirement, so, which is smaller than the front, so you have room to wiggle things around.
Fair enough, thank you.
Clear.
Yeah, and yeah, this is wonderful, so happy with that. And again, just wondering about, maintaining the landscaping there. And I think that was answered earlier, but I don't know if that falls under the new landowner of that parcel or the RM, but in any case, it would be nice if that's just maintained.
Yeah, looking at it, it'll likely be the RM on most of it, because it'll be past their lot.
Okay.
Okay.
And Tim, do you guys, is it going to be gravel based around there where it's less landscape required? Like right around the buildings?
Typically, we just have a gravel driveway up to the building, and then they're kind of grass around it. So
Yeah,
most
as
of our
long as
sites
the
are.
grass is maintained, that's all we ask.
Yeah. Great, thank you, Tim.
Understood, yep.
Thanks, everyone. We will reclose the hearing at 9:47.
Council has moved and seconded the resolution, so you still need to debate it. Based on the discussions, I would recommend to council to defeat the motion and go from there.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. So, when we call for the question, let me get this open here.
You need to vote.
So defeated.
And that has to be revisited again.
No.
No. So for variation V18-2022, I'll call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Moving on to item 8.2.1, offer to purchase Valley Fiber Grand Point. We get a mover?
Councillor Manson.
Seconder, Councillor Clayton, thank you. Give you a moment to catch up there, Mr. CEO.
Yes, and I just want to make sure that you didn't skip one.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's okay.
8.1.1.
Expansion, but that's okay.
oh, sorry about that.
Regarding the offer to purchase in Grand Point, council has the subdivision application. The offer to purchase is also there. Recommendation would be to proceed. We still need to finish off the road closure for that area. So that will be a condition of the sale, but everything else is in the works.
All right, any discussion on that one?
Not here.
Not here.
No, okay.
Okay, call for the question. All in favor, thank you. 8.1.1, apparently, IDC Lagoon expansion. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
All good.
Mover.
Get a mover on 8.1.1?
Councillor Manson.
Second.
Okay. Public Works Administration has been working with Manitoba Water Services regarding the expansion of Lagoon. We do have a 50/50 grant in place regarding this. So Water Services have sent out the tenders for the project and received 4 quotes in return. We recommend to council that the contract be awarded to Earth Max Construction in the amount of just under 1.8 million.
Thank you, Marcio. Any questions from council?
I know sometimes if we have competing bids that are similar to each other, that we'll consider a local business. Just out of curiosity, is Earth Max a business out of your shop?
No, I believe Earth Max is from I want to say Rosemont.
Okay. Very good.
Quite the spread in numbers.
Yeah.
I have a question regarding, the WWTF. This is still needed, obviously, because it's gonna be years before that all gets resolved, or?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I thought we were just gonna be maintaining what we've got and just kind of hold out. And
The idea is that if we expand on the southern side of the diversion, that the north could then be used as extra landfill space with the old wood.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, right.
but
That's always still been in the works.
yes,
That's what I figured.
but we still need environmental licensing to do that northern portion for the landfill, et cetera, so.
Okay.
And I guess the lagoons are still used for cooling, right?
Mhm.
Prior to this,
Yes, yeah, basically you need a holding area, regardless, but we cannot decommission any portion of the lagoons until the wastewater treatment facility is done, because you still need a primary and a secondary cell.
Is there any idea when the WWT is gonna start?
With the announcement in late August, so the financial piece is falling into play. Jacobs Engineering is already having meetings, trying to start up the design and the works on it. So it's already in work. As far as having actual spade in the ground and all that, I don't think we will see that until until 2023, and then fully operational, I believe, in 26.
So it's about a 3-year process.
So a 3 to 4 year program, yes.
So we do need land for whatever.
Yes, in the meantime.
Yeah.
If you look at the construction at the south end of Winnipeg for their processing, although be it much grander scale, it is taking a lot of time and a lot of vehicles and a lot of headaches. I'm sure there's a lot of headaches on that project as well, so.
Well, that's good, we're moving forward, that's being really proactive.
It's been something in the works for 20 years, so I'm very happy to see it start.
Sure.
Super.
Any other questions? We're good?
Not here, yeah.
Call for the question, all in favor? Thank you. Just make sure I don't skip over any here. Item 822, TC Energy widened storage area. You got a mover? Thank you. Seconder?
Now that the RM owns the old 59 right away, the TC Energy is wishing to expand a little bit their storage area on the west side of the building. But in order to do so, they would have to encroach a little bit on the right of way there. So I thought it would be the best to bring a resolution to council, number one, to document their request and to authorize their request. I think the 4 feet, 5 feet that they're looking for will not hamper any interference with the old 59 process, traffic, nor for drainage. There is a request for cost sharing that is, I formed that on the resolution as a request as well, so it'll be up to the council to debate.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation. I don't think it's so much a storage area as just move the garbage bins out of the way kind of thing, right? So, any questions from council?
Not here.
Well, we don't know how much it's gonna cost, but if they're just moving it 4 feet, you said?
I think it's gravel.
It's just gravel, so it can't be very,
No, it's just, yeah, just a gravel look.
okay, we're not paving it or not.
Yeah.
Oh, the arm's gonna crush it, let's put up another.
Gold Street.
Yeah. Presumably we'll have a little bit of say on the cost part of it, once it comes.
Any other questions there?
Not for sure.
Not for me.
Okay, all in favor? Hey, I think we made it to item 11. Correct? Anyone? Adjournment.
Counselor Manchek.
I'll second that one.
Thank you. All in favor?